This week's episode is sponsored by Helio Gas Detection.
Okay. So, hey, everybody, this is Richie from the Metal Cell podcast. I'm delighted to welcome Adam and Confey. First of all, how are we, lads?
Doing well, Richie. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, welcome to the show. And I've got my co-host there looking as beautiful as ever, Evan in the corner. Give us a lovely smile. Oh, he's actually smiling today. This is good. This is good.
Make me sound like a miserable bastard.
So the idea of this week's podcast is Adam Fest is a very important one, and we've got the man himself to maybe talk about it. And it's going to be fucking class because there's two gigs on. The first one is the Thursday night, and it's in the Soundhouse with Aura and Solothurn with Hero and Error headlining. And the second one then is in Cork, and it's with Worn Out, Nilo, and Code Speaker, again with Hero and Error headlining. So I'm just going to pass you over to Adam first of all. And how excited are you, Adam? Are you going to the two, or are you just going to the one first of all?
The plan was to go to both.
Okay.
It turns out that I'm going to be in Tipperary doing some neurological physiotherapy during the Dublin show.
Okay.
So unfortunately not going to make the first show, but we're going to leave Tipperary on the Friday and make our way directly to the Cork show.
He's better off with the Cork show, isn't he? Have to be fair.
Well, I didn't want to say it. I've already been to an Adam Fest in Dublin, so to the Cork show will be awesome. Cannot wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's as good as an excuse as any to miss any gig. To be fair, you gotta do what you gotta do, like 100%.
So Adam, okay, we'll just maybe do a bit of background for those that aren't sure about why this Adam Fest is going on, if you don't mind, and just give us the background story and where you are today then with it.
Well, such a long story. I don't want to bore anyone, but
no, you won't be boring.
The Cliff Notes are: I was diagnosed with MS 15 years ago.
Okay.
And I really didn't pay attention to it initially, because at the start of this condition, it can be put to the wayside, because you're still in good health. Then I started my own merch printing business in Dublin, and the toll that took on the body just from a stress perspective, I really wore myself down to the bone. That was
which is with Merch Limbo, which you're still doing it, is it? No, or is this a different crowd?
That was what happened was we myself and the bassist at the time became enamored with the idea of merch. Okay. And we started a business called Merch Zombies.
Oh, yeah.
Which lasted about a year and a half. But about a year and a half in, my health started to take a steep downward slope. That's not correct English. I don't like the way I said that. But it went downhill. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah. And they shut up shop. When I stepped away from the printing press, the guys weren't interested in maintaining it.
Okay.
So I managed to recover to a degree. I was in a very bad way at the tail end of Merch Zombies, but I managed to recover. enough to be able to continue to play guitar and kind of try and kind of get my life back to normal. I got a job, like I worked in IBM for a while, which itself was stress, but not the same amount of trying to run a business yourself. So then I got away from working for IBM and I started a new printing outfit with my fiancée and her brother, Merch Limbo.
Okay.
And that's where I'm at now.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. When it comes to health, it's a tricky path to go down. Because the nature of MS is that it doesn't tend to get better. Over time, the body it finds it harder to bounce back from issues that are presented by what happens with MS is the nervous system gets damaged, and initially those damaged areas can be repaired, but after having it for, I've got it 15 years, the body it just can't make the repairs that it used to be able to.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at.
And then the stem cell idea, then the recovery of it and stuff like that. That's I first came across it, funnily enough, with Mel Gibson being on Joe Rogan talking about his dad.
Yeah,
That was the first time I came across it.
yeah. I think there's insane promise for the future when it comes to stem cells. You've been able to get stem cells in conjunction with chemotherapy for decades for MS.
Okay.
And
No.
yeah, the idea is for the chemo to wipe out the immune system, and then the stem cells can try and restart the immune system in a better way. And that's not the path that I decided to go down. That kind of stem cell therapy is very hardcore. You're in hospital for a month and you have to get all of your vaccinations again. It's like it really sets you back to the immune system of a newborn.
Jesus.
Yeah, gnarly. And who wants to get chemotherapy? So anyway, after I got a renewed diagnosis of the MS turning progressive, which what happens is when you're initially diagnosed, generally you are diagnosed with relapsing remitting MS. And that's what I had for a long time, for 12 years, maybe 13 years. But then my energy, my fatigue increased. Going back maybe 2 years, my fatigue increased, my stamina decreased, and it did so in a more steady, constant way. With relapsing remitting, you might get a setback, but then the MS kind of dies down, which gives the body a chance to recover. When you go from relapsing remitting to progressive, the progressive phase of this disease is that once you have any issues related to stamina, fatigue, balance, all the stuff that is mad handy in life, with the progressive, it tends not to come back. The energy that you once had or the fatigue will kind of persist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, please.
When you said there, when you first got diagnosed and you kind of ignored it.
Yeah.
What was there any kind of moment that you had, you know, where kind of all of a sudden, maybe from a feeling or, you know, your body just not agreeing with you? Was there any moment that you were just like, oh shit, this is taking over, this is becoming more serious? Because obviously 15 years ago when you were younger, you're like, well, I'm fine now. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Yeah, that moment, it happened instantly. When I was struggling to, I was absolutely not able to walk in a straight line. I went from being able to walk to and from work to needing to get lifts. And I wasn't willing to accept the reality. I didn't want to tell my parents. I was living away from home. I didn't want to bother them with it. I compartmentalized things. And I just tried to ignore it until I realized that I need to go to the hospital. I need to talk with my neurologist, because I can't continue going down this path.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah, at the end of Merch Zombies, I realized, holy shit, this thing, it's not going away and it's only getting worse. And let's try and do something about it.
Mm. And Confey, were you aware of Adam's struggles at that stage, or when did you realize that he was struggling badly with this? Like,
Um, I mean, he was incredible at just getting on with life from the very beginning. So, like you said there, he didn't really give much away. Um, it became pretty obvious around that time that Adam's talking about. Sorry, maybe just give us a sec. You guys just chat. Sorry, man.
Uh,
yeah. Maybe Adam, just talk about your relationship with Confey and the lads, so
oh my
people wouldn't know.
I managed to hook up with Confey and Gary and Jay. Um, that was a long time ago. That was before I got with my partner, who I've been with forever, it seems. And let me just get myself together.
Sorry, man.
No, Confey, oh, dude, I love you so much. And your emotion means so much to me. But once I managed to get into a practice room with Confey and Gary, it was Doc from Red Enemy, and who is now in the Scratch, put me onto, or rather put Gary onto me, because Gary asked, would Doc be interested in joining Hero and Air? And
Okay.
Doc was busy doing his thing, but he said, here, there's this guy, Adam. Maybe he'd be a good fit. And I went to the practice space in Newlands Cross,
Yeah.
and I never stopped going back. I never stopped. I always went back. What's the sentence? I never stopped not going.
There's a little bit of a backstory that involves Cork with that actually as well. Funnily enough, in that it was you were filling in for Red Enemy. That's the first time we saw you playing.
Ah, yes, wow.
Yeah, so that was actually that was Architects in the Cruiskian Lawn, which is a mental sentence to say, considering how big they are now.
Yeah.
That was summer 2008, I think, and we were a 4-piece at the time. I always wanted 2 guitars, and Gary wasn't quite sure, and like we tried out a couple of people and it didn't work out, and that kind of just solidified Gary's stance on it. So we were kind of just we're gonna be a 4-piece, that's that. But Adam was actually filling in for Rob in Red Enemy that day, and I just, again, this is my almost photographic memory of these things. I remember standing there, you guys started, and Adam's good friend Gar Horgan was standing next to me. And literally, like, we're 30 seconds into the first song, I'm like, this guy is fucking amazing. Look, this is the guy we need. And said to Gar, like, what's the story? Like, is Adam in a band, or He's like, oh, he's kind of jamming with people. Maybe you should chat with him. I'm like, I'm fucking definitely chatting. So anyway, Gary's next to me. So now I'm watching Gary, watching Adam, waiting for the moment to just nudge him and go, what about your man?
Yeah,
And he's like, yeah, he's class. And then Jay Doyle appears. This all feels like it happened in the space of 10 seconds. And in his like beautifully blunt, straight to the point way that we love him for so dearly, just comes over and goes, he's in the band and that's the bleeding end of it, right?
Right. I can hear him do that. Like.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was it. Yeah. So we invited Adam out to the rehearsal space in Newlands Cross, and I remember we played Under My Sky. It was the first song we played. But not only had you nailed the song, you'd also added in like harmony runs and stuff like that weren't in there. I'm like, oh, that's the best thing I've ever heard. This and yeah, that was the beginning of it, and it was it was amazing. I think I've alluded to before, like just the level just went from there to there with Adam.
Yeah, there was definitely a noticeable like jump around that time. And what was did you kind of jump straight into doing high points? Like, was it fairly quick or?
No, that was actually pre like the first demo. That was I think that was it like there may have been weeks between that and us going over to London the first time to record, and then just started gigging. Your first 2 gigs as well. I don't know if you remember there. You came in and supported Mike Got Spiked and then supported Mastodon.
Wow.
Wow.
Like, sick.
It was like, just so you know,
Adam, just fucking name dropping there.
Sorry about that, but no,
Jesus.
it's like, dude, it's not going to be this all the time.
Just most of the time.
Yeah, no, I wish, Jesus. But yeah, it's pretty good start. But yeah, that was So basically, from the very, very beginning, and then would have started writing for High Points the following year, I guess.
Yeah,
and that was when that's when it really started to take off. So yeah.
That's fucking nuts, Adam. Jesus Christ! Like when you think of it, like, and the we all know Confey's memory is so fucking sharp. As Gary found out to his fucking demise the last time. But like Adam, kind of, how sharp is your memory looking back on those times? Like
my
Mastodon,
memory.
Mastodon Architects. Like, I mean, fucking hell, you're a very modest dude to not be talking this stuff up. Like,
I'll do it for him.
It pales in comparison to Confey's. Like Confey would be able to talk about every show that we ever would have played,
the date and everything.
Like dates, like the bands that were playing, the city that we were playing them in. Like ask Confey any date that we did in the UK, and he'll remember. Oh yeah, in Margate it was this place, or in Glasgow. He's a gas man for it. Very excited.
And like even back then there was a real, probably still is, a real closeness with the Red Enemy lads. Maybe just talk about that whole relationship, how it kind of started off. Was it just through Adam, and obviously Rob went from Red Enemy to but like just talk about how that started initially. Did you see Red Enemy? I know that you were probably mates, but they were obviously competing for the same audience as well.
I couldn't speak on the initial relationship that Hero would have had with Red Enemy, but I'd known Red Enemy since we were in secondary school. Before Red Enemy was called Red Enemy, it was called Steel Lined.
Oh my God!
And who was the Kev Lefford was just the guitarist, and Doc was the vocalist. It
That's
was
mad to think about now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd have a place in my heart for all those guys from back when we were like, it was before we were part of any scene in Dublin or elsewhere. And I would say that the relationship that Hero had with Red Enemy, it would have been absolutely only love. I don't feel like we competed with each other. We would have liked to think, I would have liked to think that we were kind of the wind under each other's wings.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Yeah, competition's definitely not the word, but we certainly drove
Pushed
each other on.
Drove-
Yeah, 100%. And like on a collective and individual level, like as well. Like for myself, like seeing Lango play for the first time, like fucking hell, like and and same with both bands, we just kind of pushed each other along. But like anytime we'd get a gig, you got to put Red Enemy on as well, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So it was a cool relationship. But yeah, and like Adam, were you not in Red Enemy at one point? Did you
a long
just say
time
that?
ago? Yeah. What happened? I think, to be honest, foggy brain. What would have happened? I was in Red Enemy like before Powderly.
Yeah.
Like, so that takes it back to probably 2005 or 2006,
That's
something like
mad.
this.
Yeah.
Or
And we all would have met. I think it was 2008 when we all met and did some gigs. And like the gigs in Fibbers, we still often talk about like the first 3 or 4 times we played in Fibbers together, and just the nights that we had after, and like, the absolute tomfoolery that went on. Legendary.
But the two bands were always like it was very like, it was always like a mates fest, but there was always the two bands that I think a lot of other bands looked up to and still do, in a way. There was very like, I think what I always admired, like what you were saying, Confey, where it wasn't competitive, it was very supportive, and that kind of community aspect to it was always there. And I, like, even for myself, I definitely admired that, being like, wanting to be in bands and have mates that are in bands and just be in bands together kind of thing, and be able to push each other and share contacts and help. There didn't seem to be any kind of gatekeeping anything or shielding anything. It was always very, shouting each other out as much as possible, which
Yeah, and you know what? It's like that now. There's no gatekeeping. It's all good and positive with all the bands that are currently in the scene anyway, Adam, what was it like then hearing that Hero and Error were back together and releasing?
It's such a beautiful thing that the phoenix has risen from the ashes. And like, I see it as a super group version of Hero. It's like
I agree
having
on that. Yeah.
Gary with Powderly. They're just both so technically proficient, and like Confey, say no more. No need to say anymore. And then Jay as well. Jay is, oh my God, have you ever seen Jay play drums?
Oh, he's
of course.
He's
and guitar.
That man is.
Oh yeah, he is a one-man band.
We need to cut him open and figure out what's going on in there, like, because
but he needs to be studied. Yeah,
100%.
And then Can. I think everybody knew about Can a long time before Hero hooked up with him. From way back in the day, learning about, No Consequence through old school like rock sound articles or Metal Hammer, Kerrang, like free CDs. He was such a highlight of like the underground UK scene, and I think everyone in Dublin who was interested pricked up their ears, and his name was on the tongues of people who were interested in underground music in Dublin. And to find out that he's now kind of working with Hero, I think it's a cherry on top.
Yeah.
And it's more than a cherry. It's like a flavoring. It's beautiful.
The syrup and everything. Like,
yeah. Absolutely.
The sprinkles. And
having seen you twice now, Confey, just it's fucking an experience from a live punter point of view. It's absolutely just an incredible band that you have assembled there, and you're dead right, Adam. It is like a super group at this stage, I
Nice.
want to, and about frontmen as well, and guys, I want to bring Nilo into the conversation because he's not here today, even though he was supposed to be. But let's talk about maybe your relationships with Nilo. Adam, first time you came across Nilo, any memories of that?
Oh, well, he's been part of the Dublin underground music scene for a long time. With originally it would have been Frustration.
Yeah.
He was vocalist in an awesome hardcore band that kind of got pretty as far as an independent hardcore act can. They were signed by Purgatory Records. Um,
They're fairly legendary in the hardcore. So
yeah,
people like even in the UK, people whenever we're like, oh, we're from Ireland, they're like, oh, Frustration. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, so I always knew about Nilo, and but we we were in different scenes. I would say, like, ultimately, I was doing metal, he was doing hardcore, um, and it was years and years later that we kind of connected more personally. He became interested in kind of. I've been interested in. A, I hate to talk about spirituality, but interested in meditation,
Okay.
interested in mindfulness.
Hmm.
And in the last couple of years, we've really um, a friendship has been forged um, that feels very deep and sincere. Um, and then when he offered to put on a show to help out with my GoFundMe, I jumped at the opportunity. Um, and yeah, I think our friendship has really deepened from his volunteering to assist in that.
Yeah, incredible stuff. Confey, your thoughts on Nilo?
Yeah, he's Adam kind of summed it up there. Like
Yeah.
everyone knows him.
Yeah.
I think it even goes further back. Remember he had a band called Born of Ghosts. Remember them?
Oh wow, yeah, he
That was
played
the first band.
I never heard
Yeah, he
them,
played
no.
bass in them, and they were kind of known, and that's where I would have heard of him first, and kind of
Okay.
came across him at those gigs, and he just a really fucking sound lad. I think it's the best way to
Yeah,
describe
yes.
him. Like everyone gets on with him, and he's been incredible for Adam over the last while, as you described there. But even just with the GoFundMe, like I know he's running marathons and he's doing everything he can to raise money, and yeah, just a solid dude. A lot of
Yeah.
time for him.
Really gives a shit. Like, and even
Yeah,
when I was kind of first chatting to him about doing Adam Fest, it was like it almost felt like I hadn't even finished texting, like writing the message, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
Whatever you need, you know, and
yeah.
he'll run into the sun for you. Like
yeah.
he's a good dude.
Yeah. Evan, for those that don't know Nilo, just maybe describe what kind of music he kind of is like. I know it's kind of hip hop rap, but there's other kind of substance to it though as well, isn't there?
Yeah, it's quite like what he's doing now. I think even with Adam kind of bringing up, you know, mindfulness and spirituality, you really can kind of hear that in a lot of the stuff that he's doing now. I think Nelly's like I love watching what Nelly's doing because he really is on like a good path compared to where he might have been mentally in the past, and you can really tell, like, you know, I think he's stopped drinking now for it's over a year or something like that, but he's very just conscious of enjoying his life and just trying to be as good of a person as he can, and you can really hear that in his lyrics as well. There's a lot of kind of self-realization kind of things and questioning things about his mind, and you know, different ways to approach things compared to like what you would have maybe when you were younger, and kind of a bit more not even quick to aggression, but you know, just kind of acting very as you would when you're younger, as in like fuck you and fuck
Yeah.
this, where there's a lot more kind of you can hear the maturity in in his music now, and it's comforting to see. And he works his ass off too.
Yeah.
Very hard worker, which I always admire.
Yeah, I mean, I have never seen him live. Any of you seen him live, lads?
Yeah, I've seen him a few times, all right.
Okay, so what to expect there? Is it will he have a DJ with him, or does he do it all himself?
I think it might just be him, but if he wants to bring a DJ, whatever, he's more than welcome. But I think it's having, apart from like wanting to keep it in some way, like I just wanted to have Nelly involved in it. But I think even the same way that we had Nailbreaker
Yeah.
opening last night, it's that nice kind of ease into it, and it also, like, it might be a metal gig, but I feel like sometimes just doing metal, because when I first put up that Nilo was playing, people were like, why do you have someone doing rap? And I was like, well, do you listen to hip hop? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, do you listen to metal? I'm like, yeah. I was like, well, why the fuck are you why are you asking me? Like,
Yeah.
that's why. But yeah, it'll be a nice kind of ease into it, and a very good vibe.
Yeah, I
Like,
can't wait, man. Because Pat's like artists like Nilo, realistically for me, living in Cork and stuff, we wouldn't cross, and unless he's coming down and playing. But like the fact that you've put him in between Code Speaker and Worn Out,
well,
and
he'll be on first. So
he's
it'll
on
be
first. Okay,
Nelly, then Code Speaker, then Worn Out, then Hero
okay,
and
so
Error.
that's the running out. Yeah, be brilliant, man. I'm
Oh
really
yeah,
excited over it.
I did try to push him to get a frustration reunion for it.
Yeah.
Don't think I wanted that as well.
I know, yeah. I think I remember saying to you, I was like, I'm going to see if I can push this. And he was like, look, I'll chat to the lads, but they weren't able to. And I was like, look, one fucking song is all I'm asking for. Like, even to do that would be unreal. But I'll keep an eye on him till I get it. Like, I'll make it happen someday.
Someday, one day, maybe.
Oh yeah. I'm
I
gunning
mean,
at some stage I'll get Red Enemy. The fucking something will align to make it happen at some stage. I feel like
Yeah.
I can figure it out.
Let's talk about the other bands that are involved, and Confey, Aura, and Solothurn. Two bands on the up, really exciting.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Or I haven't actually. Did I meet them? I don't think I've met them in
They're
person.
such nice
Nicest
lads.
guys.
Yeah,
They're
they're
just
really good.
just even the back and forth in the conversation. They're so, and they've been amazing at promoting it too as well. And
Yeah,
just
they have, yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing them. They're doing some really exciting stuff, and I love their sound. Solid Turn gave me Mastodon vibe, so I'm all about that. So looking
Yeah,
forward
very
to
true.
looking forward to seeing that as well. And yeah, it's gonna be a good night.
Yeah, and the fact that Code Speaker coming back to Cork, Evan, wow, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
like, because the last time obviously we could only do it in that the rehearsal space, which was amazing to
It
do,
was
and it
amazing.
ended up being a very special gig. But
Mm.
I still wanted to give them the proper like Cork experience, so it's kind of, and when I said it to them, they were, again, straight away, they were like, we don't want any money for it. Like, they'll use our gear, they'll stay in our house, but they're like, we don't want a cent, don't worry about it. We're just coming over to do this because, like, they don't know Adam, but when, explain to them what you're doing, you don't have to know the person to understand how important it is. So they were like, yeah, cool, we'll come over, we'll do whatever we got to do, we'll beg, borrow, steal to get gear. Well, we'll do it
Nicest
to better
lads
not
as well.
fucking steal it.
Yeah, don't steal. But the rest of it
don't-
sounded great.
Yeah.
I think that all that band fucking love coming to fucking Ireland, man. They're just the
Oh yeah,
nicest
sure.
lads.
Jimmy's from Cork, like.
Yeah. Especially like that whole thing up in the practice room was just, that
Very
was a
special,
special
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, it was a dose that it had to happen, but it ended up being quite a like unifying thing for the
Yeah.
scene, people were very supportive of being like, because I was kind of worried, being like, oh fuck, there was like, I think there was like, at the time there was like 120 tickets out of 150 sold. So I was worried that we'd kind of have maybe some people snapping over it, but everyone was like, yeah, fair play. All the bands just here and there, or sorry, fucking 100 Euro Man straight away were like, we'll do what we got to do. So it ended up being quite a special gig, but being able to bring Code Speaker back now just to be like,
Yes.
this is, because this is probably, this for me, it'll definitely be the gig of the year. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the one with the most weight by far. The lineup is incredible. And I think, you know, people in Cork, there's a lot of people traveling down for it already, you know, and the tickets at the minute, like it's 2 weeks out, and I think we're at like 75 out of 150 sold. So,
Yeah,
you know, and it's always the kind of 2 weeks before it that it starts ramping up with tickets. So it's going to be absolutely rammed. Like,
Yeah.
Adam, we'll just talk about the GoFundMe as well. Your target was 75,000, man, and hitting that mark was just what was incredible, wasn't it?
Get out of here. It was absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
Because I understood that it's very hard for these to get off the ground in the first place. And it just seemed like people came out of the woodwork to throw money at me, be it old friends, people from the music scene that maybe I met in the past, maybe I didn't, maybe they would just know me through a friend knowing me, family, like people just being so generous. It's really it's amazing to be part of the to be let me find my words to be for that to be happening to me. It's very humbling. I'm full of gratitude. Hundreds and hundreds of donations, some of them ample. Like an old friend. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm not getting into specifics, but yeah, it's been amazing. And I feel so fortunate. It's had me over to get stem cells twice, and I'll be going back over in 6 months. It's amazing. I couldn't ask for anything. It feels like I don't deserve the MS, but I also don't deserve the generosity and beauty that has been shown to me.
No,
Again,
That's where you're wrong. Yeah,
That's
no,
your
the second bit
100%.
you're completely wrong. No, that was the thing, man. I said to you, it's like, you know, it was such a shock to you how quickly the number was rising, but it's like it wasn't a shock to anybody else
Yeah,
at all,
fully
because that's the thing, Adam, is like, you know, you're the type of person that brings people together,
you are, yeah.
and everyone I've said it multiple times, like I've never walked away from a conversation with you feeling anything other than good. And people remember that. It's that old thing of like, people don't remember what you say or what you do, it's how you made them feel, and you make people feel good when you're around them. You just have that energy, and it's our time to give back. And that's what it is, man. It's not a surprise to any of us.
Yeah, 100%.
That the love is out there for you, and you deserve every bit of it.
Yeah, like you fucking hand delivered 3 boxes of merch for me. Like, but specifically because you were like, oh, I don't trust An Post to get it on time, so you drove in the van with Tanya to give me 3 boxes of merch, and I was just like, nobody else would be arse doing that, and I would never have expected. Because I remember when you got to the house, and I was like, oh, are you delivering? Is there loads of bands from Cork that, you know, you're doing? You're just like, nah, I just don't trust An Post. And I was like, what are you doing now? And you were like, just driving back. I was like, fucking hell, like.
Yeah. Well, Tanya is my cornerstone. So I really, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing without Tanya. So it's understandable. I hear that you're thanking me, but I hear you thanking really Tanya. My fiance is the oxygen in my lungs. It's like without Tanya, nothing Now, not to apply too much pressure on my success to be contingent on Tanya, but yeah, we all need. No, we don't all need anything. I'm not telling anyone anything about the best way to live, but for me, having Tanya in my corner has been a game changer.
Yeah, 100%.
She's amazing, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the two of you together are great. Like, you're just, as Confey said, it's like there's just a good vibe. Like, even when you came down, like, Sarah jumped on you straight away.
Oh,
It was just, yeah. But like, yeah, the two of you are just a great people to be around. There's a lot of light that comes from the both of you.
Thanks, Ed.
Adam, just Swiss Medica Clinic Serbia. How did that come onto your radar?
Well, I'll tell you. So after I got the progressive diagnosis, I went back to my folks for a few days to, I don't know, to get to grips with this reality. And my mom was instantly investigating things online, as moms are wont to do. So what happened was, we started to investigate stem cells, not in conjunction with the chemotherapy, but there are other kinds of stem cell therapies that can be investigated. And I was originally going to go to a place in Germany, but then we found out about Swiss Medica, and talking with Swiss Medica in Serbia versus talking to the guys in Frankfurt in Germany, I believe, the options in Germany were quite limited. Honestly, if you're part of the European Medicines Agency, I don't know, it's the EMA anyway, the European version of FDA. You are the my brain is going foggy, but there are certain things that you can't do under the umbrella of the EMA.
Okay.
Serbia is outside the EMA.
Okay.
So
right.
It's a little bit more Wild West, but that's kind of, that's maybe not totally fair to say, because these therapies can have hugely beneficial outcomes. And what I got was autologous mesenchymal intrathecal injections, which are stem cells into the spinal fluid. And when I was over there the first time, they extracted bone marrow from me, and there's stem cells in bone marrow, and they can process the bone marrow and then re-inject it in at a later date. That's why I went over the second time, to get the particular kind of stem cell called neural stem cells. And they cultivate a very particular type of stem cell that only differentiates into neurons, oligodendrocytes, and a couple other things which are beneficial to multiple sclerosis. So what were we talking about? Why? Okay, so I went to Serbia because they were able to offer this stuff, and I wasn't able to get that in Germany. It was limited. The stuff I could get in Germany was relatively limited. There was a whole menu of therapies that I could avail of in Serbia, and there were 2 or 3 in Germany. And it seemed like what was available in Serbia could be of more benefit ultimately. So that's why I decided to go there.
Yeah, incredible research for you to find that out, you know what I mean? So invaluable actually.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I
And
wouldn't. Sorry.
No, work away.
I was just gonna say my experience is my experience, and I wouldn't like to kind of say, here, you go and do this. Maybe you'll have the same experience I have had.
Yeah.
My experience, in my experience, I believe that it's in conjunction with an overhaul of nutrition, physiotherapy. I've kind of been coming at MS from as many angles as possible. And I think that overall it has led me to the place that I find myself in, which is it's a good place. And hopefully on the back of this next month of neurological stem cell, neurological physiotherapy. On the back of that, hopefully I will be in an even better place.
Yeah, incredible stuff, Adam. I mean, I looked at the YouTube videos from Swiss Medica as well. You're almost a celeb over there now at this stage, man.
I was very happy to see some of the nurses and physios when I got back, and they had pictures of me up in the clinic. They're a beautiful people, I must say.
Yeah, you were saying they're great. I remember when you were down in my house, you were singing their praises. They're so nice to you. Like, good food, wasn't it?
Shockingly good. And in the new clinic, the new clinic is in every way fancier and more able for more. It's more able for more. There you go. And the food was even better.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's something to say. All right. So that's basically it, Adam, in relation to, I won't keep you any longer, man, you know, because I mean, Jesus, even what you're describing there and being able to pronounce all this stuff is just unbelievable. Like, you know, the stuff here that, and I'd say the same for the lads, like we've never heard of, but it's an incredible journey you're on, and the research is paying dividends. Thank God, you know, that's so positive to hear that, man.
Yeah, it's been a trip, but I mean, there's only one way to go. Like, I can either ignore it or dive headfirst into it, and I think I need to dive headfirst into it, and it's served me.
100%.
You can use our heads as well, whatever way you need to dive. Like, there's
we might get him for a stage dive, Evan, in the Cork gig. You know, it's highly possible.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. So, Confey, we'll go back to you just there for a minute. I've noticed you're on Radar Festival in Manchester. That's great, man. Congrats.
Yeah, cheers, man. It's gonna be fun. And the scratch just got announced as well. So Gary's got 2 gigs to play now.
Double duty, like.
No way.
There's literally there's 15, 20 minutes between the sets. So he's like from one stage to the other, like, so
that's brilliant.
But yeah, that's gonna be fun, man. Yeah, looking forward to that one. Yeah.
And that's basically all you can tell us at the moment in relation to gigs.
Yeah, that's all we have is the two for Adam and Radar Festival. But I do have to reiterate, it feels like these 2 gigs are the most important ones we've ever done or ever will do.
Yeah.
Everything else is just a gig after that. You know, there's a whole different meaning to this, and I can't wait to do it. And there is always a slight strangeness seeing Adam's face in the crowd at a hero gig, but it's so beautiful at the same time that we can have that, and the fact that it's for him and the funds are going to go towards this amazing treatment he's getting in Serbia. Like, it's incredible, and I'm really, really excited and really looking forward to it. And it's going to be a celebration as well
Yeah,
as everything else. So
yeah, absolutely. I think the celebration part is the kind of that's the perfect way of looking at it. Like there's a big is to celebrate Adam and kind of everything he's done for everyone and continues to do, you know. So the fact that we can do it through music and what Adam has done with us, and there's merch there that he's printed and
yeah,
bands he's played in, and
yeah,
it all kind of comes full circle to be able to do it for Adam,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Well said, lads. Just once again, it's Thursday, April the 24th at the Sound Store or the Sound House with Aura,
Soundhouse.
yeah, Aura and Solitaire and Hero and Error headlining, and then the following day, Friday the 25th, with Worn Out, Nilo, and Code Speaker. Those that are watching, listening, even if you can't go, just buy the fucking tickets and throw some money into the GoFundMe page for Adam. And all I can say is we'll see you there, lads. And continued success on your journey, Adam. And thanks a million for taking the time to come on the show, man.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Richie. And Ev, thank you also for being here. And Confey, what a beautiful surprise. I was not expecting this. Thank you.
Yeah,
Brilliant. Thanks, Confey, and regards to all the lads in here in Error, and tell them we'll be seeing them in Cork soon. Evan, thanks again for coming on the show, and I'll have all the links and stuff. This episode is coming out early, so you'll have time to digest the episode and also click on the links, and that'll get you to the tickets and to the GoFundMe. Thanks again, lads.
Legend Richie. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.